I'm not surprised at anything that Cassie is saying right now. What I do find interesting is that everyone is acting so surprised. What will I say about what he said? I think he's telling the absolute truth. When you have employees that are being fingered for setting things up, keeping tabs on witnesses, or I'm sorry, keeping tabs on people, like Christina Coram was keeping tabs on Cassie, which she just testified to the other day.
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to find out what's really been going on in the background.
Word on the street is that Jaguar Wright has allegedly survived a hit set on her by none other than Diddy himself. And if that doesn't make your jaw drop, just wait until you hear why. Jaguar has been relentless in calling out the elite. We're talking names like Diddy, Jay-Z, Clive Davis, the heavyweights. She's exposed what she claims are real-life horror stories, secret Hollywood parties, rampant exploitation, and a system that thrives on silence, fear, and control. And she hasn't just been vague about it, she's named names, dropped dates, and connected dots that have fans and insiders whispering a little too loudly. But now, it seems she may have almost paid the ultimate price. Allegedly, a hit was put out on her, an actual attempt to silence her for good. According to whispers in the underground scene and her own statements, Jaguar believes she was targeted for unaliving after exposing what she calls a pipeline of corruption running through the music and entertainment industries. And now, it seems someone wanted her gone. So buckle up, because if her claims are even half true, this could be the biggest takedown in entertainment history. The web she's unraveling is laced with power, money, blackmail, and bodies, and it looks like Diddy might not be the only one with something to hide. He might just be the tip of a very sinister iceberg. Guys, you'd better be seated for this one, because this story is about to get insane.
Nobody had to look at him for real, for real. And the truth is nobody did. Everybody laughed and joked about him dancing like a idiot in all them goddamn videos, twirling around in circles. This nigga been wild, like, you know. So I'm just saying, they didn't know, and he wasn't telling them. They just know he got the budget. He go to LA, he talk to Clive, he come back with the bread. Apparently, he has this man's confidence. Yeah, I'm sure that man was very confident with his penis in his mouth.
Now, in a jaw-dropping twist that feels straight out of a Hollywood thriller, Jaguar Wright has come forward with claims that she survived a hit put out on her, and she's pointing fingers directly at some of the biggest names in the music industry. According to Wright, this alleged attempt on her life comes on the heels of her explosive accusations against none other than Diddy and Jay-Z, whom she has openly accused of being part of a deeply rooted network of corruption, exploitation, and cover-ups within the entertainment world. The alleged attack unfolded in Dallas, where Wright says she was assaulted and hospitalized following a violent confrontation at a barbershop. But this wasn't some random street fight, far from it. You see, Jaguar believes it was planned, part of a coordinated effort to silence her before she could expose more damning information tying Diddy to a broader network of Hollywood elites involved in serious crimes. And the red flags didn't stop there. Apparently, Wright reported seeing a suspicious black SUV repeatedly circling her hotel in the days leading up to the attack. Things then escalated when she reportedly caught someone tampering with her vehicle, leading her to believe an accidental car crash may have been the intended hit. She says she had to get physical with some people after. But despite being outnumbered, Jaguar Wright claims she was able to defend herself. But the message was clear. This was not just a warning. In her own chilling words, she said that if anything happened to her, we would know who did it. Now that statement alone has set social media ablaze, with fans, bloggers, and insiders demanding answers and calling for protection for Wright. This isn't the first time Jaguar Wright has taken aim at the industry's most powerful. She's been on a relentless campaign to expose what she calls the dark underbelly of the entertainment world, detailing everything from exploitation to culture and the sinister silence that protects at the top. But now, with an alleged attempt on her life, the stakes have never been higher. Now, for years, Jaguar has been a thorn in the side of the industry's elite, calling out hypocrisy, exploitation, and But in recent months, her accusations have gone from bold to blistering. Before the alleged hit was put out on her, she was dropping names, big ones. Jaguar has publicly accused Diddy of running what she describes as a full-blown criminal enterprise under the guise of a music empire. But according to her, Diddy wasn't acting alone. He was allegedly being protected by a high-powered network of industry gatekeepers, legal muscle, and insiders who've kept his secrets buried for years. She was naming names, and the list is as jaw-dropping as it is damning. Among those Wright has implicated is none other than Jay-Z. Wright claims Hov isn't just a business mogul, but a central figure in shielding Diddy from scrutiny, suggesting he has deep knowledge of the alleged crimes and has chosen to stay silent or worse, assist in the cover-up.
He brought you on to speak on Diddy, and it seemed that as if your focus turned to Jay-Z, his wife.
That's always been my focus. They're one and the same.
Then we have Desiree Perez, the CEO of Roc Nation, who has long been linked to controversial federal cooperation in her past. Wright accused Desiree Perez of using her position and influence to keep Diddy and others insulated from legal consequence. She also mentioned Clive Davis, a music industry legend. Jaguar claimed Davis was one of the longtime architects of the current power structure that enables exploitation, suggesting he's been protecting talent with troubling secrets for decades. And finally, she mentioned Courtney Burgess and Alex Spiro, who are allegedly involved in helping manage or bury legal threats. Spiro, in particular, served as a high-profile attorney for the Stars. Jaguar accused of helping orchestrate legal shields for Diddy's empire. Jaguar Wright was holding anything back, especially after she took direct aim at Courtney Burgess. According to Jaguar, Burgess wasn't just another media figure or industry insider. She claimed he's an industry fixer, strategically positioned to steer attention away from the real puppet masters behind the scenes, including none other than Jay-Z. In Jaguar's words, Courtney Burgess was allegedly planted and used as a calculated distraction to deflect from Jay-Z's deeper involvement in Diddy's alleged criminal activities. She suggested that while all eyes are fixated on Diddy, figures like Burgess are working behind the scenes to shape the narrative, manage damage control, and protect certain elites from being pulled into the fire. Wright has pointed to Burgess's suspiciously close ties to Diddy, as well as his demeanor and deflection tactics in interviews, as red flags. She claimed his role wasn't about truth, it's about containment. Containment of stories, containment of victims, containment of public perception. And let's be real, if there is a massive cover-up operation in play, as Jaguar insists, then a fixer like Burgess wouldn't be some random PR guy. He'd be a gatekeeper, someone trusted to manipulate narratives and keep the real power players out of the spotlight. Jaguar's accusations are explosive because they point to something bigger than Diddy, a coordinated effort involving lawyers, executives, publicists, and enablers, all working to protect the reputations of powerful men. And in this alleged machine, Courtney Burgess is, in her view, a cog built for distraction, a calculated smokescreen to keep Jay-Z's name clean as federal heat closes in on Diddy. And here's where things get truly chilling. Jaguar alleges that Diddy's infamous parties were not just wild industry bashes, but secretive events where victims were bid on. According to her, these were carefully curated spaces for exploitation and control, where high-profile attendees engaged in behavior that would destroy careers if exposed. She claimed the industry's dark side is not just about and egos. It's a system, a network, a web of silence, power, and blackmail. And in her view, these figures have spent years enabling Diddy's alleged crimes, including and the manipulation of vulnerable artists. Jaguar Wright isn't speaking in vague metaphors or cryptic subtweets. She's going on record, naming names, and daring the industry to challenge her. And after her alleged assassination attempt, she's made it clear she's not backing down. In her words, she was prepared to risk everything because what she's witnessed is too dangerous and too evil to ignore. Now, when she was asked about her first-hand experiences at Diddy's infamous parties, Wright didn't hesitate. She spilled everything. According to her, those events weren't just elite get-togethers. They were playgrounds of depravity, drenched in power plays and exploitation. At the center of it all, a potent cocktail known on the underground scene as Tuzi, a dangerous mix of cocaine and ketamine. Jaguar claimed this substance was regularly passed around at these parties to disinhibit guests, numbing them from reality and consequences, and allowing all kinds of behavior to unfold unchecked. She painted a grim and deeply unsettling portrait of Hollywood's after-dark reality, one where young hopefuls, vulnerable talent, and even well-known stars are pulled into a vortex of manipulation and control. And according to Wright, what goes on behind those closed doors is far darker than what the public has ever imagined. But what makes Jaguar's story even more alarming isn't just it's what allegedly happened after she started speaking out, following a wave of bombshell allegations against Diddy, Jay-Z, and others. Now, after the failed hit, Jaguar has been seen publicly arming herself, openly showing the weapons she now carries for protection. This isn't paranoia. This is a woman who believes she's being hunted for what she knows and what she said. And after everything she exposed, the idea that her life might be in danger doesn't sound far-fetched. T sounds probable. Yet despite the chilling nature of her claims, many in the industry have been quick to dismiss her, labeling her unstable or unhinged. But here's the thing, Jaguar Wright has been consistent. She's named names. Her stories haven't wavered, and the timing of the alleged threats and intimidation tactics too convenient to ignore. With Diddy now under federal investigation, lawsuits piling up, and more survivors speaking out, Jaguar's story is starting to look less like a conspiracy theory and more like foreshadowing. She was one of the first to sound the alarm. Now people are finally starting to listen. So the question now is, how deep does this go? If Jaguar Wright is telling the truth and more signs point to yes, then we're only scratching the surface of a massive, interconnected web of corruption and cover-ups. The music industry could be standing at the edge of its biggest reckoning yet. And Jaguar Wright, she might be the voice that brings the whole house of cards crashing down. Anyways, what do you think about this crazy story? Let me know your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other stories to ensure you are all up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye.